Dear students, today's video is on IELTS writing. Every Saturday, I make videos on essays. To see the essays that I have done already, you can visit my channel, Excellence the Ideal Class, or my Facebook or Instagram page with the same name, Excellence the Ideal Class. Now coming to today's question. Let us see the question for today. Some people say spending a lot of money on personal celebrations is wastage of money, while others say that they are important. Discuss both views and give your opinion. So this is an essay where we have to discuss two views and give our own opinion. When you get an essay of this category, first of all you should decide your opinion. Like my opinion is, it is important to celebrate the personal events well, but there should not be any wastage. After that, we write our essay. In the first paragraph, introduction. In the middle paragraphs, the main ideas. In the last paragraph, conclusion. We have to write essays in 250 to 270 words in 4 to 6 paragraphs, and the suggested time is 40 minutes. In the first paragraph, we always write the introduction. In the introduction, we have to write only two statements. The first is the background statement that introduces the topic. The second is the thesis statement that introduces your idea, what you are going to write about it. It depends on the question. Now let us see the introduction. There is a difference in the thinking of the people that whether the extravagance on personal celebrations is justified or not. This is called the background statement because it introduces the topic. As far as my opinion is concerned, they ought to be celebrated well, but by avoiding wastage. This is the thesis statement that introduces the opinion of the writer, and it depends on the question. Today the examiner asked me to express my opinion. The word ought to means should. Extravagance means excessive spending on something. Now you can read this paragraph. Pay attention to two things. What I have written, the points, and after that the language. Now, in the next paragraph, I have discussed the first view. When it comes to two-view essays, there is no fixed rule which view you should write first. This you have to see how your essay is going to make more sense. So I have written the first view first. To begin with the first view, these events mark important days of life. Some, like marriage, happen only once. Also, they are important for a healthy social life and well-being of a person, as they give people an opportunity to strengthen their bonds, meet new people, make new relations, and increase their network. So there is no harm in making them grand. So this is the first main reason why these events are important, and there is no harm if people spend a lot of money of them. This is the thinking of the people with the first view. Here there is a word that I have used, and the word is well-being. Well-being means general health and happiness. Now you can take some time to read this paragraph, and there are two things you should pay attention to when you are reading. First, what I have written, the points, the ideas. You have to make sure whatever points and ideas you write, they should be directly connected to the question, and they should be making some sense. And after that, the language, the sentences, the words. Especially you have to see the way words in a sentence connect to each other, because only then they are going to make sense. So there is a lot of planning and thinking that is needed. First you have to think what you have to write, and secondly how you have to write. Sometimes the students don't pay attention to these things. Sometimes they are not even guided properly, and they lose bands. So pay attention to these things. Now, in the next paragraph, I have written the other reasons why they are important. Secondly, many of these still involve old traditions and customs that familiarize young people with their culture and tradition to keep them alive, which makes these events important. Thirdly, they are a major source of recreation also, where people have fun with their close ones, forgetting problems and tensions of life for some time. So these are the other reasons why we need to celebrate these events, and there is no harm if some people are spending a lot of money on them. This is the thinking of the people with the first view. Now you can take some time to read this paragraph. Pay attention to two things. What I have written, the points and ideas. As I said earlier, it is very important that they should be directly connected to the question and make some sense. And after that, of course, the language, especially the words in the sentences and the way they match with each other, because only then they are going to make sense. It is very important to choose your words, your vocabulary very carefully. So there is a lot of planning and thinking that is needed when you are doing IELTS writing. It is not just whatever comes to your mind and you write it on the paper. You have to check your ideas, every word. This is where sometimes the students lack and they lose bands. The word familiarize means to make people familiar. Here you can also write, many of these still involve old traditions and customs that acquaint young people with their culture and tradition. Acquaint also means to make familiar. Now in this paragraph I have written the next view. With regard to the second view, see how the paragraph is starting. Excessive spending starts wrong trends in the society. The wealthy ones can afford them easily, but when the same is expected from others, they face financial problems and even take debt, like in case of marriages in India. Apart from this, for show off, a lot of food and other resources are wasted. Now you can take some time to read this paragraph. Keep the points that I told earlier in mind while reading the paragraph. Also, see the way I have written my paragraphs, framed my sentences and connected them. In few words, I have written a lot of things. So if there is lot of connectivity, in less you can write more, there is more clarity as well. So there is lot of planning and thinking that is needed when you are doing IELTS writing. Now, in the last paragraph, I have written the conclusion. It is very important that in the conclusion, you do not include any new ideas and it should always match your thesis statement. Eventually, important events of life need to be celebrated properly to make them special and memorable. However, excessive spending, even if people can afford it, is neither it word is missing. Even if people can afford it, without it also it will make sense. Even if people can afford is neither right nor a wise thing to do. This is what I said in the thesis statement also, that it is important to celebrate them properly, but by avoiding excessive spending or wastage of money. So this is what I have written in the conclusion as well. Now you can take some time to read this paragraph. Keep the points I told you earlier in mind while reading. And also see how things are connected in the sentences. If you can learn to write more in less words, there will be lot of connectivity and clarity. So lot of planning and thinking when you are doing your writing. Dear students, in case you want to prepare well for your IELTS exam, you can join my class. I have given my contact number at the beginning. You can also subscribe my channel Excellence the Ideal Class, where you will find a lot of content that will help you in IELTS preparation. I hope that you find today's video useful and have enough content for this essay. All the very best for your exam preparation.